This is Hannibal here from thehannibaltv.com with a daily wrestling news update. Dana White has publicly said that Vince McMahon is the one that put together the deal between the UFC and Saudi Arabia. UFC had years ago not wanted to work with Saudi Arabia, but obviously the heat that Saudi Arabia has pretty much gone at this point, related to a reporter's death years ago, and Vince McMahon, who had the existing relationship from WWE, which reportedly might be as much as $55 million a show for WWE to come to Saudi Arabia. I've heard reports that it could be as much as $55 million, which is huge, which is why probably Vince said it's their home now. But he arranged the deal for UFC to come there. Friday's episode of AEW Rampage was down to 291,000 viewers, 0.11 rating. Apparently, the Lucha Libre match did not do very well in the ratings. It's funny that AEW, and I'm not saying this to have anything against AEW, has been bragging a lot about their relationship with CMLL, but in Nitro, when Nitro was kicking ass, the Lucha Libre matches were kind of just sprinkled in. They weren't like the feature matches of the show because they were like just the crash TV in between long NWO promos. They'd throw in a quick Lucha Libre match with lots of action. They were never necessarily the draws. They were just kind of a bonus. And of course, they did end up getting some lucha stars like Rey Mysterio and Eddie Guerrero, pretty much the main two that got over out of all the lucha, and Conan. But yeah, they have a lot of wrestlers on the AEW roster, not that many over as stars. Smackdown was also down for a show that featured Roman Reigns and LA Knight having a confrontation, 0.53 rating. It's going to make me wonder if LA Knight's momentum is going to be killed now that he did the job for Roman Reigns. Who's he going to face now? He's going to have to go after a lower title. Will his momentum be killed? I don't know. This is kind of funny. George Masvidal pled guilty to misdemeanor battery charges in exchange for his 2 felony charges being dropped from a March 22nd incident when he allegedly punched, March 22nd, 2022, by the way, where he allegedly punched Kobe Covington when he was coming out of a restaurant. Covington beat him in an MMA match, by the way. He got off on his serious charges. Then he went on Ariel Helwani's show and basically cut a wrestling style promo that was better than any promo I've seen in wrestling in a long time. Maybe WWE should recruit George Masvidal, where he was making all types of threats and saying he doesn't care where he faces Covington, where it's in a cage on the street. He is supposed to be retired, but we all know retirements in fighting don't mean much because there's always an amount of money that can bring people out of retirement. But the funny thing, and I did watch this interview with Ariel Helwani and George Masvidal, is Ariel brought up that George now has a fighting company that's airing his matches on YouTube. And Ariel was saying, well, how could you ever make money on YouTube? Now, keep in mind that Ariel had heat for going after UFC for not paying fighters, but he doesn't pay fighters for appearing on his show. And then he made the comment on his show, well, how do you make money just airing your fights on YouTube? And I actually looked up Ariel Helwani's page, how much it makes. He makes as much as $700,000 a year off of his page that he doesn't pay his guests for, and as much as $60,000 a month, which is huge money. So that was definitely well, how do you make money on YouTube? That's crazy that you're airing fights. And George Masvidal's games breed, it's bare knuckle MMA. I mean, his is a new channel. It's only making as much as $50,000 a year. he doesn't post much, but he gets very large hits on the videos that he does post. So I mean, he probably sees the potential in posting stuff on YouTube and building a YouTube channel, because there's certainly fighting YouTube channels that do very well. But Helwani claiming, well, how do you make money on YouTube? Meanwhile, he's raking in the cash from YouTube. I found that comment very funny. And I do agree that UFC fighters are underpaid, but at the same time, I do agree with Dana White that he doesn't pay his fighters, and he makes money off of his fighter content. So I wish everyone a good day. I'll be back if there's more news later today.
Thank you for watching the Hannibal TV. Please like this video if you enjoyed it, and click the subscribe button to not miss any of our latest shoot interviews, match videos, or news